Hello, my name is Diane Padilla and I'm doing my presentation on my video of the appendicular skeleton. Okay, so we're going to start with the clavicle, and I'm going to point out the sternal ends right in here and the acromial ends on both sides there. Moving over to the scapula, we have the acromion process right on the inside here, and the subscapular fossa, which is right in here. I'm going to turn my skeleton around. We're going to get the posterior view. This is the acromion process, the coronoid process, and the supraspinaceous fossa right on the inside here, and the spine. Then we have the infraspinaceous fossa right here, and the glenoid cavity there. And then we'll move over to the sternal clavicular and acromial clavicular shoulder joints. The sternal clavicular joints are these two right here in the front, and the acromial clavicular joints are right here on the outer ends. Then we move over to the arm. We have the humerus, which is this here, this whole section, and the intratrabecular groove, which is a little groove that we can't really see on our skeleton here, but there's a little groove, and it's also referred to as the bicipital groove or the sulcus. Then we have the greater tubercle, which is this one here, and the lesser tubercle, which is on the inside here. Then we have the humeral head, which is this right here. I think I can see it better if I turn it around. And the deltoid tuberosity, which is this here. The coronoid fossa right below here. Let me move that down a little bit further. Okay, sorry about that. Then we have the coronoid fossa right here down below. Oops. What happened? I disappeared from the view here. Okay, here we go. The coronoid fossa right here down below. The allcranian fossa right above it. The lateral epicondyle right out here. And the medial epicondyle right over here in this section. The humeral trochlea right below it, and the humeral capitulum right here in this section. Then we move over to the forearm, which is the ulna. Oops, 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 oops. I'm about to lose my skeleton. And this is the ulna right here. Let me move this a little bit. This is the ulna. And then we have the coronoid process, as well as the, I'm sorry, this is the allcranian process, and the coronoid process is right around here. Let me see, I don't think we caught that. The coronoid process is right here, and the allcranian process is right here. The allcranian process is right here. The allcranian, I'm sorry. Then we have the styloid process right in here. And then we go ahead and move over to the radius. This is our radial head. And the radial tuberosity, which is this thing protruding right here, and that's your tuberosity. And the radius, of course. And the styloid process. The styloid process right in here. All right, and then we're going to move over to the carpus, which is the hand. Turn my hand around here. All right, this is the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth metacarpal. The bones right below it are the trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and the hamate. Right below the distal row, the proximal row is the scaphoid, the lunate, the tracheitum, and the pisiform. This row bones, along with the ulna and the radius, move that down, along with the ulna and the radius, form the bones of the wrist. And then we have the here, the trapezium, which is the bone that forms the joint for the pollex. And I think we're done with that. Let me go ahead and stand up my skeleton again. And we're going to move over to the pelvic girdle. I'm going to move this down just a little bit further. And put that there. And then we're going to go ahead and start with the iliac crest, which is this section here. The iliac fossa, which is this here. This forms the ilium. The superior iliac spine, which is this section here. The foramen, which is this here. And the pubic symphysis, which is this section right in here, where the line is. And the coccyx, which is that right in there, where the coccygeal bone is at. We have the ilium and the ischium, which is the ilium and the ischium, so about right here, and the pubis, which is the rounded portion of the bone. These three bones are the bones that fuse during the development of the skeleton to form the coccygeal bone. So then, with that said, I could go ahead and point out the rest of the pelvic girdle. We have the, let me see, make sure we're able to see that. We have the ischial tuberosity, which is right here, the ischial spine, and the greater sciatic notch, which is a little notch right here. You could actually put something in it. And then the acetibulum, which is right in here, in this section right in here, and the iliac spine. And I believe that covers the pelvic girdle. And then we're going to move over to our femur. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for right now. We have the head of the femur, the greater trochanter, and the lesser trochanter. And I'm going to move that up. And that way make sure you got a view there. Once again, we have the greater trochanter and the lesser trochanter in the femoral head. We have the medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle down below. So this is the medial and the lateral epicondyle. Right below the rounded edges where we get that, they go into the joint. The lateral and the medial condyle. And then we have the patella, which is right here in the front. All right, so let's move on to the fibula. So the fibula, this is the head of the fibula, and this is the tibia, and the medial condyle, and the lateral condyle. And then right here there should be, like, in this little groove, the tuberosity of the tibia. And then we move on down to the lower part of the bone, and we have the lateral malleus and the medial malleus. So the lateral malleus and the medial malleus. All right, and last but not least, we have the tarsus. And I'm going to bring him down real quick. Okay, so with this view, you can go ahead and see the talus, the navicular, and the cuneiforms, which I'll start from the middle. The medial, the intermittent, the medial, the intermittent, and lateral. Oops, I'm losing my view here. Here we go again. Medial, intermittent, and lateral. Then we have the tarsals. I'm sorry, the metatarsals and the phalanges, which are the lower section. The metatarsals. My foot keeps sliding. I'm going to pick up my skeleton. I'm going to bring it to a closer view. I'm having a very hard time with this. Okay, let me move out just a little bit. I just got to figure out what direction. Okay, so here we go. We have the calcaneus bone, the cuboid, and then we have the navicular, and we have the talus bone. These long bones here are your metatarsals. I'm losing my view here again. Let me stand back just a little bit. These are the metatarsals, the long bones, and then right below, if I could get them into view, are the phalanges. These are your phalanges. And right at this point here, this last bone, right here is the helix. I'm not sure if we caught that, but let me do it again. This bone right here on the edge, that is the helix. And that concludes my video. I'm sorry about the technical difficulty at the end. Thank you so much.